24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Good evening once again. This is Love SA through Bold Moves Radio. Your host NTSHEMBO MANGANYI, co-hosting with Moses NGOBENI, and today is a very special evening. We have with us a very special guest, I must say, and when I say special guest today, you will understand exactly why I have to put it that way, because he is a guest that we have all been looking forward to. And to kickstart the show, we cannot do it much better than to say that ini nkulu wa munhu kusuka esithabyanini swa ka Mthati, eShatumba, esithabyanini swa ka Magani, eXihahini, eNGOBENI Mambadi, eRivubye ku khigelana na Madandila, hi vulavula hi Hosi Shilungwa wa vumbirhi Mhinga, lava hi nga na vona. We cannot talk Love SA if we don't involve our traditional leaders, if we don't involve traditional leadership, because traditional leaders are at the gateway into the communities that constitute much of our country, South Africa. You will agree with me that we've got about 6 provinces that are rural-based. Among those who count Limpopo, KZN, Northwest, Free State, Mpumalanga, etc. And to talk development for South Africa, to talk to the community, to get people to know what to do in their private spaces, we need to talk to the leaders, and we need to know from the perspective of leaders what we can do to build this country. And it is for this very reason that we are saying to you as our listeners, as our viewers, we are saying it to ourselves that we cannot talk the Love for SA to the total exclusion or partial exclusion of the involvement and active participation of the traditional leadership. And that is the very reason that we have got Hosi Shilungwa wa vumbirhi Mhinga eka madyambu yo saseka swonghasi. NGOBENI hi xiximekile namuntlha swinene, hi na vukosi. U ri yini kateta?
Ntiyiso swinene ngopfu kokwani Magoda. Hi xiximiwile namuntlha hi presence ya Hosi Shilungwa Mhinga Ndabezitha. Well, we are very much excited tonight to be hosting Hosi Mhinga. Indeed, there are different forms of loving South Africa. When we look at the aspect of love in terms of romantic love, if I can put it that way, they usually talk about love languages. And I'm tempted to mention at this point in time, na loko hi vulavula hi ku rhandza tiko ra hina Afrika-Dzonga, ku na tindlela to hambanahambana leti hi va ku hi ti endla tanihi vanhu ku va hi rhandza tiko leriwa.
No, it's true. Contralesses is there to influence the policy or the running of the rural areas. But Aina Matimba, they don't have powers. As I've said, we're there as sitting there advising, but we don't have a legal standing to say we can. You can take the matter to court here, yes, but honestly, the structures in Singapore, hakuna contraless, hakuna the houses, ukuma kuri, hakuna cohesion, hakuna standing. The provincial house, the local house, sometimes doesn't consult the people on the ground. They don't know what is happening. So there's a lot that needs to be changed. But changing must start from the top, not from the bottom. It must start there at policy level. That's where it will be more relevant for royal leaders to have a voice, not in the structures that control and to create your government.
Ndabezitha, loko hi languta matiko nkulu ya kufana na Asia, hi vona ya ri na ku tekela enhlokweni swinene vurhangeri bya xintu. And loko hi languta switikwatikwani swa ku hlayahlaya swintsongo eka continent ya ku fana na liya, swi hluvuka hi ku hatlisa swinene. Xikombiso xi kona exitikwana lexi namuntlha mani na mani loko a lorha a twa a navela ku inge a nga tikuma a ri ka xona xa ku fana na say Dubai. Is there any lesson that as South Africans we can learn from such countries, such continent, that can help us, which will see us making meaningful development? Because I'm saying this, when one looks around across South Africa, rural areas or rural base, prominently rural provinces remain and continue to remain underdeveloped.
Yeah, I got a problem. You cannot develop when you don't have resources. Countries that you're referring to, Dubai, I was fortunate. I was near Qatar for the World Cup. I've seen what royal leaders can do. Particularly, I run with the politicians, and those people are wealthy because they have the resources of the country, which mostly was oil. But now they're starting to diversify. They got into technology. And some last 10 days, and one na pothole na mapatile Qatar. I didn't see any, you know. Structurally singasikumbulusa leswi so for that confusion and friction kunakho leswi humelelaka because everybody lava ku benefita yena ntsena to the exclusion of the community. So I would say honestly we have to loko ku rhandza ka mina loko a ni ri na mali I would organize some few royal leaders so that we visit places like Dubai. Hi ya hlangana na tihosi leti ti nga tihosi ti fambisaka matiko, wealthy people. Even politicians go to them because vona va na resources. You cannot run a country without resources. No.
Yes, that's a profound statement, Ndabezita. But my question actually sought to get from you that would you say that some of the challenges that we face as a country, South Africa, are there because royal leadership is not given the space that it deserves in the governance of the communities?
That's exactly my point.
Balaba,
You don't look when a municipality sit down to adopt a budget, you are not there. Both consult the hosts have no voice. We don't have voting rights at all municipalities. You don't have voting rights at the provincial level, let alone at the national level. So which powers are you going to exercise without a voice? Democracy is about numbers. If you don't have the numbers, you are always in the minority. That's why going back to the drawing board, how do we want these countries to be run? Look at England. I haven't one team, but they still regard the Hosi. The whole world came to a standstill. At KZN loko ku vekiwa hosi or vathiwa hosi ma swi vona ka ha ri na ku xiximana mara tin'wani tinxaka a swi kona unfortunately.
Okay, balaba Hosi Shilungwa wa vumbirhi Mhinga hi ri na vona eka madyambu ya siku nongonoko Love SA through Bold Moves Radio. Loko hi vuya because hi lava ku teka break sweswi, I'll want us to delve into what role, if any, especially if the voice of traditional or royal leaders is not that heard by the community because they don't get a space to make themselves heard. What would be the role of traditional or royal leaders in response to climate change? Because these, as I said earlier on, are the leaders that stand at a gateway into these communities. More on this when we come back from the break.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Kasi indlela eleyo, that's how we come back from the break. Good evening once more to our viewers and our listeners. The program is Love SA on Bold Moves Radio. And of course, we are graced by the presence of Hosi Shilungwa Mhinga with us, joining us from all the way from Mhinga. Look, I wanted to say this to our viewers, and I couldn't bring the show to an end. Not that I'm bringing it to an end now without saying it. But we are looking at royal leadership in a different angle, perhaps an angle that has never been explored before, or that is most likely not going to be explored in the near future. And Ndabizita, I'm saying this because I'm hoping that in one way or the other, this interview, because it's going to be there on the storage clouds of the internet, I'm hoping that in one way or another, it provides a platform for the issues that you are raising to be addressed for the greater good of our communities, for the greater good of our nation. Having said that, kokwana MANGANYI va le ku teni na topic yin'wana ya interesting swinene ngopfu, and a lot of people may not know, but royal leadership plays a significant role in nation building. This, as I said in the beginning. Kokwana MANGANYI.
Yeah, Ndabezitha, re perela kambe re ka re ya mahlweni. Nongonoko e Love SA through Bold Moves Radio. Now, delving into climate change. Ndabezitha, as royal leadership, and I keep on referring to your position in relation to the communities, that you are so closely connected to your communities, and the subject of your reign, when they look up to you, they look at you as a beacon of hope in your position as a leader in the community. Now, climate change. Can we effectively fight climate change without involving traditional or royal leadership? And my answer is obviously a no. And I want to invite you, Ndabezitha, to take us through this. If you, as royal leadership, are involved in getting the message clear to your communities about how they should go about in responding to climate change that we are faced with today in the 21st century.
Magoda, is very simple. Climate change is referred to a number of issues, but as far as rural communities are concerned, the issue of preserving nature is paramount. ematikweni ta kuma ku matiko man'wana vanhu va tsemeleri misinya. That is one of the causes of climate change. Loko mpfula yi ta, loko ku ba moya, ka ha ri hava lexi vanhu va tumbelaka hi swona, misinya ku hava. So the first structure sweswi nga kona tiyindlu ta vanhu, u kuma ku tiyindlu ta hatluka. Yabo. So hina tanihi tinhosi, like I say, the powers that we have been given by our constitution, they are not sufficient because we don't have those powers. Yakuwa, we protect the nature. Tonight, nature conservation area, department, but there are so few. Look, put them one senior or a reporter, they take a week or two before but we needed to look at the traditional authorities, tinikwa budget, even a special people, lava nga ta famba patrola tindhawu leta hina ku vanhu va nga tsemi misinya va nga hisi nhova no va nga rimeli eminkoveni loko mpfula yina ku va na soil erosion. These things are natural things. A swi lava munhu a pasa degree ku ra swi tiva, but loko u nga ri na ti-resources ta ku polisa ta ku hlayisa ntumbuluko, how are you going to run it? Ma vona swi nyikiwe timasipala na provincial government, but loko va fonela ka ku byela ku we don't have transport. Hina hi tshama kusuhani na Kruger National Park, swiharhi swa huma, tindlopfu, tinghala, tinyarhi, nkarhi wun'wani swi dlaya tihomu ta vanhu, nkarhi wun'wani na vo vanhu va dlayiwa. You know, it's such a serious problem. A swi koteki ku va hi kota ku hi lwa mhaka leyi because we don't have the resources. The traditional authority hasn't got a budget to run its authority. So it's structure njhani xa government, you establish authority or councils, you don't give them a budget. Va ya tirha njhani?
Ndabezitha mi ta na mhaka yin'wana n'wina loko mi teka xitulu lexiwani loko mi sungula eka xona mi sunguli tanihi ku khomela eka mukhalabye ngimi wa wona wu nga emahlweni wo wisa hi kurhula Adolf Sunduza Mhinga, mi tirhile hi nkarhinyana lowu mfumo wa xihlawuhlawu a wu ri eku hlaleni. Loko ri karhi wu hlarisa sweswo milawu a yi ri kona leyi a hi vona a ku ri na ku leswi hi swi vulaka hi tlhelo ra hala kumbe hi mavulavulelo ya kwale mi nga kona eka Mhinga, tihomu ta ku tsaka mativitano magede lava a va khomela magede na tindhawu teto ti biyiwile leswaku ku nga vi na ku famba olova ka swiharhi. Lexi xivutiso xa mina then i xa ku what happened to those nature reserve officials, if I may describe them that way, that were there, those community members that were, I guess, under the supervision and control of the chiefs to see to it that nature is preserved. What happened immediately when we stepped into this new constitutional democracy with them?
Ava vuriwa ti tribal police, ava nyikiwa ti-walkie-talkie, va famba nhoveni va khome ti-walkie-talkie. Loko na a problem va kota ku vulavula na van'wana va hatla swi attendiwa. This one, that thing has been taken to not even the local municipality, but it's been run from the province, the provincial mandate. Hi vona loko va fonela u kuma ku va tshama hi na haleni va kumeka thoya ngopfu. By the time we fika halani swi onhakile. So structures are no longer there. They are not effective whatsoever. That's why loko va fonela we don't have transport in most cases. Swiharhi swi ta swi onha, timpfuvu ti ta ti dya masimu ya vanhu. It's a hopeless situation. I don't know.
Na ku nghena non'weni kwalano loko mi vulavula hi swiharhi, it's something that I was coming to. Ngobeni, if you will have to go back to climate change, you will, but I'm looking at our time, it's not on our side. Now, with load shedding taking place in the country and with no indication that it's going to be over in the near future, as royal leadership, do you participate? Do you get hurt do you have a platform to have a word on how load shedding should be applied, especially when we look at communities such as the one that you are heading, that is Mhinga, which borders Kruger National Park, with animals coming out of the Kruger National Park from time to time, posing danger not only to the animals but to the community members. Do you get head to say, for example, how do we go about with load shedding to see to it that we don't experience load shedding at a time when, for example, it's dark and our people and our animals get exposed to animals and the danger that is posed by these animals?
MANGANYI, the answer is no. We don't have a say. Sikiro wa bona pele national, well, we appoint the national minister of electricity. I don't know to tell but load shedding is a serious challenge because during the night, look, say the female gaze, the la makamba ngena ukona, bayiba, go you know, and it's not like a Mhinga everywhere, but we are in very serious problem. We need a rethink as to how to run this country with all the people. The whole sitting at Salinda, Fanny Banaton, the Tanika Mabonele, and I was Fanny Famanda.
Now, Ndabezitha, I have a lot of things that I'm throwing at you. Again, looking at our time, your community borders Kruger National Park. I have a benefit of knowing the community. I see nothing in terms of development just before one gets into the Kruger National Park. In that regard as well, don't you have a platform through which you participate to say, look, this is what, as Royal, say in your case, as Mhinga Royal Council, we are saying that we avail this piece of land to, say, investors or to governments to help us build it, get our people part of this development as part of empowering them economically. Because Pundo Maria Gate, for example, for me, who left Mhinga in 1983, it still looks exactly as it was then, except from some sporadic rendezvous development taking place up to the gate of the Kruger National Park.
Yeah, Makota, we have the plans, but like I say, whatever plan we have to still go and sit and negotiate with the municipality before it goes to the province, before it goes to national. It's a long. Even the political will is not there. What I but we do have very good plans to develop our area. So until such time that people realize they are sitting on I would say, a gold mine. Have I worried?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we just hope, like I say, if there were resources, and that as I believe, like we have like government, we'll do it ourselves. But unfortunately, we don't have the resources. We've got very good plans to develop.
Ndabezitha, I want to pose this question before NGOBENI takes over or takes us to the break. From my observation from a distance, you have been one of those few leaders among royal families that have been very hesitant to readily give, or rather hand over your land to individuals. When I say hand over, I'm referring to specific cases where you see land just getting, if I may put it this way, carelessly given to anyone who does nothing about the land, including foreigners. What is behind that resistance and ability? Because I take it that it is resistance and ability from your side, because others have failed to resist the temptation for whatever incentives that are put there for them to say, no, we cannot just hand over the land to anyone who may not, in the first place, deserve to have possession of this land?
No, my God, you know, kwemba singa ending one misava. Tikuraga Mhinga
Yeah.
is the Garden of Eden aka Mhinga. We have to preserve it for future generations. Loko wo nyika vanhu nje willy-nilly singelungi. The thing is, you have to plan la ku endla hina tikweni before you sit down and give it away. Futhi misava yi xavisiwa. Misava ya hosi a yi xavisiwi, a hi ya hosi, misava i ya vanhu. So you must look after that land, because if you sell it, one day u ta tikuma u nga ha ri na nchumu. Vanhu va tile lava nga na timali va fika va xava. So the lease process hi yona, loko la munhu a lava ku endla bindzu hi tshama hansi hi vulavula na yena, hi nyika ndhawu lease for a certain period. Just like Mozambique, you cannot buy land in Mozambique. You come and lease it, you work on it for a period of time, and you go out. You cannot sell. The little land laying on, mind you, the bigger portion of our land is sitting in the Kruger National Park. We've made a land claim, but we know that we won't get it back because it's been declared a national park. But we'll get developmental rights. In other words, this one came here in a illegal land claim court. Berkali, but adjudicator. Look, we win. Abanga iniki title, Marvata inika developmental rights. This is the right to develop. Well, in the Kruger. The Kakoda go enter the lodges, not the hotels, and this is what we're planning to do.
Whilst we are taking the break, in less than 30 seconds, I want to invite you now to indicate to our viewers, our listeners, that from what we just said, do I understand you to say that as a royal family, you have been battling to get access to Kruger National Park just to be part of developments that is taking place there, hence the court adjudication that is taking place or underway now?
No. The court process is according to the law. We have to do a land claim. You do a land claim, but because the place has been declared a national park, they can't give it back to the land. We can't go and resettle there. But they will give us a developmental right. In other words, we can develop in the Kruger. What can you develop? You can't put a town in the Kruger, but you can put a hotel or lodges, anything to do with tourism.
Okay, balava ke nakambe ku kombisa Hosi Shilungwa wa umbirhi mi nga lava hi nga na vona eka madyambu ya siku. We are taking a commercial break, and after that I'll want us to move to the role of traditional leaders or royal leadership in situations of disaster management, this informed by our recent past as we come out of COVID-19.
Kokwani Magoda, nkombela ku nghenelela kwala mi nga si hisa a break in. In fact, the technical producers va pfumele ku hi nyika nkarhi hi vhe hi songa kunene ku hi bondzokile.
Okay, all right.
And you touched on a very important point, and ni twe ndhawu ezithapa hi hlamula kahle swinene. But so far, I'm sure our listeners and our viewers will agree with me if I try to sum up some of the things that he has said. And I remember Ndabezita giving an example, ya matiko yufana na Qatar. We look at the UAE, la at most royal leadership leading the resources and making the right decisions for its people. I mean, those people have emancipated their subjects out of poverty, and everyone, if not, maybe I'm exaggerating, is somewhat living a comfortable life because they are being led by people who are not far flung from realities of day-to-day living of an ordinary person. Mara loko hi languta ka England, Ndabezitha, we have the monarch. And again, South Africa seems to, particularly on a political point of view, not looking at the international relations, it kind of, for lack of a better word, it kind of draws a lot of inspiration in that English land as well as IUS, in as much as na monarch le. But my focus wanted to be most on the monarch, who lately it has somewhat come under attack from its own subjects, and mainly because there have been accusations of racism within the monarch, and people were questioning the relevance of the monarch in this day and age. How is that likely to influence or to have a negative influence ka South Africa at large when its approach already ka royal leadership of this day and age is significantly lacking? So, how is that likely to affect us with all the challenges that we are going through? Yes, we have the land as royal leaders, but we do not have the resources to work on that land. We have the municipality like Ifani are wall to wall with us, but somewhat they are not giving us the platform to start working.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pity. Well, England, this was what is happening is because of how the monarch has been, are behaving themselves. Va humesa swihundla swa vona leswi a swi nga fanelangi swi humela handle. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
questioning ku ri kasi ku humelela yini laha. Byin'wana na byin'wana byi huma ka Xikwembu. Mara
Yes.
loko u languta ebibeleni tihosi leti a ti succeed-a hi leti a ti fambisiwa hi Xikwembu. Se loko u huma tindleleni leti Xikwembu xi nga ti laveki, ku vula ku na wena u ta fika ka ndlela yeleyo. I don't say they are not religious, they might be, but sometimes nala loko a nghenile munhwini va pfa va rivala ku ri va na switulu swa njhani. A wu fambi u
Yeah.
vulavula timhaka ta wena ta ndyangu a handle. You're just opening yourself up for people to
Yeah.
attack you. So it's a very unfortunate situation. But having said that, I like the fact that there are still, a great majority still respect that institution. Se na kwala ka hina, ku ya na ku ri hosi ya njhani. Ku na
Yeah.
van'wana vona loko ri xa va hleketa ku ya cina xifefefe, unfortunately. So vanhu va ta ku xixima njhani loko ku pfuka yi tshama xipotini na vaakatiko. How will they take it? Va fanele ku vona ku ri xitulu lexi nga ka xona a hi xa wena yo nyikiwa xona u fanele xi hlayisa na misava leyi nga nyikiwa yona vona ku wa yi hlayisa for the next generation. So that is the issue. If you want to make yourself relevant, make sure ku ri tirha swilo swa kahle, vanhu va develop-a ku akiwa swikolo, vanhu va ya swikolweni. Try and lead by example. Before vanhu va nga ta ku vona hi ku vona ka mina.
Ndabezitha loko munhu kota ku mi hlamula again ta mi nyika 30 seconds because mi hlamula xivutiso xi mara no twa wonge ku va hi tlhela hi nyika xikombiso xa le kusuhi swinene swi va swi ri kahle swinene eka vayingiseri na lava va nga ku hi languteni. Eka lava va nga ni ku tsakela ni ku lorha leswaku i ngi royal leadership can get to a position that it ought to be at, but on the same breath, when someone looks at our neighbor here, Swaziland, seeing what is or observing what is happening there, wouldn't those that are against royal leadership getting an active role in our governance and politics be right to say, it seems that the trend is to move away from royal leadership, given what we are observing from our very own neighbor, Swaziland?
Yeah, swa tika magoza. Swa tika ku van'wana loko va nyikiwe xitulu lexiya va ti rivala va endla swilo leswi loko swi langutisiwa swi vona ku swi hume endleleni. It's not right. And swi endla at the expense of the people.
Okay.
Put the people at heart. Swilo swa wena swi nge tshamiseki.
Ndabezitha, let's move quickly into situations of disaster management. We have seen COVID-19, what it has done to us as a country. Now, I need to find out from you, what role does royal leadership have when it comes to responding to situations such as COVID-19? I'm asking this question, especially looking at the fact that, for example, we would have people locked down at their places of residences. But if you look at people from far-flung rural areas, like an area where you are a leader, they need to go out to get firewood. They need to go out to get certain things that they cannot do without. If you are locked down, yes, they do have electricity, most of the communities that you are leading, but they still heavily rely on, for example, firewood. Were you involved, or do you get involved when decisions are taken on how such disaster management are applied? Measures are applied, rather.
No, what happens is, obviously we're hearing from government. It was a question of making sure that the campaigns which are run by government were also part and parcel of them. Hi hlamusela vaakatiko leswi swi vula yini loko ku mi nga fambi mi nga fane mi ti pfala milomo na tinhompfu swi vula yini. I think it's a more of an educational situation than ku va swilo swa ntumbuluko. Mara eka
Okay.
yeah.
Quickly,
Sorry.
thank you. You have answered me, Ndabezit. And then quickly, we are heading to elections very soon. Now, the apathy among electorate, we have seen it growing. Now, the question that I have is, what role does traditional leadership play in encouraging and educating their members to realize the importance of continued active participation in elections?
Yeah, the role is the same role that we have all the time, that we encourage our people to participate in the elections, because your voice of Mhinga is as good as the voice of a person who is staying in Gauteng or in Cape Town. So looking at voting, you are making yourself a disservice. Our hlamusela participate. But politics is about politics. We don't get involved in party politics. I famba ni ya votela ntlawa wo karhi or party as a human being in your way, as long as you exercise your vote your right to vote, because that is your universal right. Nge aleli vanhu ku mangani ya vote. Unfortunately, sweswiwani vanhu a va ha swi tivi na ku va fanele va vhotela yini, ku ri va va vhotela vanhu mara ka ha ri hava ku koroka. Service delivery a va yi voni va tshembiseriwa ku yona. That is the challenge.
Last question from me about something that is very close to my heart: education. As a royal leadership, what do you do, or what measures are in place that are aimed at restoring discipline at schools that we have seen becoming increasingly hopeless in terms of what we see? I mean, the likes of, for example, where you are a leader at Ripambeta, you can only, when you look at it and say, where did it go wrong? Are you in one way or another actively involved in assisting to see to it that schools are run smoothly?
Yeah, for your information, Ripambeta became second in our circuit last year. So it means something has been done. What happens is, Lokulember Sungula, we do have we go back, back to school campaigns. Famba is called this. We hlohlotela vaakatiko, hi byela tindhuna leswaku vana va fanele va ya eswikolweni. Nakona kwala xikarhi ka lembe, the circuit manager u tshama na hina va hi nyika ti-results. We don't wait until the end of the year. Every end of each quarter, circuit manager wata we interact, hi va na tinhlengeletano, hi hlohlotela vanhu leswaku va ya eswikolweni. Sweswiwani we're pushing ku ti-high school ta hina na swikolo swa hina swi fanele swi kuma ti-laptop na ti-desktop na hinkwaswo leswi, because now we're moving in the fourth industrial revolution. Vana hina va nge saleli ndzhaku. Hi na pfhumba leri hi vulavulaka na va Kruger National Park ku ri ka tourism levy leyi va yi collect-aka loko vanhu va nghena le, yin'wana ya mali a va fanele va hi endla leswaku vana va hina va kuma ti-computer so that they are not left behind eka this fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah.
valava i ndhawu ezita Hosi Shilungwa Mhinga wa vumbirhi lava a va ri na hina eka madyambu ya siku leswi va swi vuleke a swi lavi ku tatisiwa a swi lavi ku hungutiwa ndhawu ezita hi rhandza ku mi khensa swinene eka nkarhi lowu mi hi nyikeke wona hi twa hi xiximekile ni pfumela leswaku eka lava va nga ta va ni nkateko wa ku va hi landzelela lava va nga kota ku va na hina sweswi va ta dyondza swo karhi eka mafambiselo ya tiko ni ku vona nkoka wa royal leadership valava hi mun'wanati mudi wa bangu hi ri eka vona xandla ehenhla ka xin'wana xandla. That's how we come to an end to our today's beautiful edition of Love SA. Ndhawu ezita hi pfumeleleni nkarhi wu hi vondzokile hi ku eka n'wina khensile ku dya ngopfu Xitsonga xi ri tano a hi ku hlula ndlala.
Inkomo Mangani. Khensile swinene makoti. Khensile NGOBENI.
Inkomo swinene ndhawu ezita.
Thank you.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana, oh Afrika nakupenda sana.